Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Weed Shed Confessions. I'm Chris from Ambrosia Buds, and I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. I think getting a license and become legal in the cannabis industry is complete bullshit, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So let me just get this off my chest because I was actually planning to do a video the past few days. I've just been busy at a funeral, but my grandma died. But I was going to do a video where I've been planning this co-op. If you've followed my videos, it started with the idea of an Airbnb. Then once my state of Virginia flipped for recreational sales, I thought it would be really cool to have a farmer's market for cannabis, or a cannabis campus, if you will, where it would have like multiple grow spaces. Different licensed growers could rent a testing facility for those growers. You know, a kitchen, a community center, a spot for like a farmer's market, a spot for everyone to sell their product and whatnot like that. But basically, everything the big companies have, the MSOs, the multi-state operators, but just on a community scale, because I thought that was cool. But the more I thought about it, and this actually came to me because I saw a video that kind of made me think, and I've been saying this. So when you look at the way licensing is in all states that have gone rec, they're copy and pasting the same law pretty much. It's the same foundation, the same setup, and it's not set up to protect small growers, or what I call legacy growers. And I do want to say before I get into this that in the description of this video below, you're going to find a bill like what I've written or come up with, just a rough draft. Like, guys, I'm not saying it's perfect. You can tear it apart, but some laws that I came up with and ideas that I think would be better to protect small-time growers, because as of right now, everything's just made for big business. It's big cannabis, just like it's big pharmaceutical, big agriculture, big tobacco, big alcohol. They're setting the foundation for big cannabis, and they're pushing all the small-time, what I call legacy growers, out, and I think that's fucked up. So check that out, leave some comments and tell me what you think about it. If you got some ideas to make it better, go for it. I'm not going to get into full detail about that because I think it's better that you read it. But I just don't think for the average person it's worth getting a license. It's super expensive, and the entire idea of these social equity programs that these states are coming up with is a fucking joke. It's a, they're sugarcoating a turd or putting, lipstick on a pig, because at the end of the day, maybe they make it a little bit easier for, somebody to get a license in the social equity program. But in the long run, what you're looking at is an average when it comes to starting a business. It takes like 5 to 7 years for you to like break even or flip a profit. If you do it before, you're doing good. But what you're seeing now is when small-time growers are getting into cannabis, they're basically going under within 5 to 10 years. And you're seeing these multi-state operators, these MSOs coming. I mean, they're biting at the bit already in my state. They had planned ahead to come into my state. So, and they're just taking over. Like I said, it's the Walmart of weed. These MSOs are the Walmart of weed. You don't have to put Walmart on it. I mean, they're already there. And a lot of people in my comment sections totally agree. So as far as like my gripe for the week when it comes to the cannabis industry, that's it, guys. I really don't think it's worth anybody that's on a small scale to get a license. You need so much capital, and I'm gonna bring my buddy Pookie Dan in and interview him probably on the podcast live one day, because he actually set up and worked for a guy in California. He literally went to LA, and then COVID hit, and it drove him nuts because he was locked down. But I mean, that was a huge MSO setup, and it was a friend of his. I mean, huge setup. So he can tell you the details about all that, and we're going to get into it. But yeah, I personally think when you look at the legal cannabis business right now nationally, I think in 2022 they claimed it was a $32 billion industry. However, they said that 75% of cannabis sales existed on the black market. I'm not saying the black market is a good thing, but there is a different market. It's called a gray market, That's the craft market. I'm going to do an entire video about that and explain to you why I think the gray market is where it's at, and fuck the license. The gray market is already existing. So let's get back to the black market and the white market and legal market. So you're talking about a $32 billion tax revenue from legal cannabis sales in only a handful of states. So when you put that in perspective, if all 50 states went legal, you're looking at $300 to $500 billion cannabis industry. Easy. I'm saying in the illegal market, it's probably around 100 to 150 billion right now, you know, and the government's not going to leave that money on the table. They're going to want to tax the shit out of it. And I have no problem paying taxes. However, and I have no problem following laws, and I have no problem paying for licensing, but I'm not going to support a legal structure that's not supporting me. Basically, you're trying to get rid of small-time growers. Like, just fucking admit it. Like, you're not doing anything. I've already written Abigail Spanberger and the Virginia Cannabis Control Authority and broke down, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to protect the integrity and the passion of this industry? Crickets. I'm going to try to set up a meeting with somebody from Abigail's office to sit down and be like, look, y'all are fucking lying. I mean, she definitely fucking, you know, she definitely hoodwinked the state by using cannabis, you know, the cannabis legalization thing to get the fucking votes, just to tax the shit out of the whole state. I mean, just go on YouTube and research it, dude. Virginia is in a shit show right now. And what you have to realize is Virginia has some of the richest counties in the country next to like Jersey and New York. Like, and I tell everybody this, man. Everybody in the United States has to pay taxes, and all that money gets spent at home first, and that's in Washington, D.C. And that's why you see these counties like Alexandria, Arlington, Fairfax, Loudoun. That's some of the highest income, wealthy people, man. And I mean, I've worked on, you know, houses in there all the time, installing elevators for these people, and working with politicians, working in Ted Turner's house, and stuff like that. And you see it. But that's art, you know, that's federal taxpaying dollars. But I don't want to get into that. But that's it, guys. Seriously, I understand the importance of where we're at with the cannabis industry right now and where legalization is. But where it's headed is not what you think. Okay? And I'm going to say, don't get a license. You don't need one. We've existed for fucking decades in a thriving industry that they want in on now. So if they want in on it, and they being the federal government, and they want to tax it, they need to give us the structure, licenses, and laws for us to succeed, not big business. So that's it, guys. If you like what I'm talking about, ring the notification bell, subscribe, and do all that jazz, and be on the lookout where I talk about. I'm going to break down, I'm going to do some research as far as the stats, but I'm going to definitely talk about what's going on bad in the black market. The gray market is what I like to call it. Like, I look at it as the black market is illegal, the white market is legal, and then there's the craft market, which is the gray market. And the craft market's where it's at. So that's it, guys. Peace. Stay green. Keep growing.